tribulations, my heart, my balls, my somebody stop, somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The dark, the light, my heart, the fight, the wrong, the right is gone.
How's it going out there, YouTube? This is Sam Murphy, giving you guys a review for Stuber. So for those who don't know, Stuber is a new movie that's just been released by 20th Century Fox, starring Dave Bautista, who plays Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Kumail Nanjiani. The two form a pair who kind of get caught up in this random adventure as they're trying to catch a villain. Bautista plays a cop, and Johnny plays an Uber driver who gets pulled into a very interesting adventure. I like the movie. It's a fun movie. There are lots of periods in time where I laughed a lot. There are moments in time where you got to pause, and go, that's not really what I was expecting there. But it's across the board. It's a pretty good movie. Bautista and Johnny, Dave and Kumail do a great job of having pretty good chemistry with each other, and that's also one of the things they talked about in the question and answer section of the screening, was that they felt that they had really good chemistry. In fact, there's one scene that I believe is still going to be there in the final cut, but that was completely improv. And they had quite a few moments at that. They tried to keep the characters going, to keep exploring the characters, even when the lights and camera weren't on them. They still felt it was good to keep trying to build and figure things out as they went along. And I think it shows. It shows great chemistry. It was a lot of fun. I think that's one of the things with comedy, is that it's believable and fun if the characters themselves are taking ridiculous things seriously. The action's good. Well shot, and there you can tell that the actors who do a lot of the hand-to-hand fighting actually know what they're doing. No one's doing jump cuts to cover for people who can't actually fight. By the way, random fact: when we got to the red carpet screening, one of the most interesting things about actually getting to see Dave Bautista in person was seeing how massive his hands are. Like, I don't think I've seen a person with bigger, more massive hands. And just a really, really cool guy. I was running camera as we were doing it, just like, oh, this is cool. So that's what I was doing there. The director is Michael Dowse. And he has he does a very good job of getting more out of his moments of action than just allow them to be just entertainment. He's able to make a statement with them in a way, and it's not really the exact kind of way, but it's the same way I personally felt about Zack Snyder's Watchmen, in that I felt that the action was being used to make a point, to add to the story, more than just entertaining or just being a delay from the next plot point. That's really how I felt about the movie. And I think it shows. Dowse tends to do a lot of writing himself for his movies. He did it in this case, but it really shows that the attention to detail required to write really shows up in the movie Stuber. Which is it's a lot of fun, and it's interesting, and it's more than a little more, I think, than just a generic action comedy. And then the supporting actors were really good too. Natalie Morales, who has actually directed a couple of her own pieces, plays the character of Dave Bautista's plays the daughter of Dave Bautista's character. And she does a really good job. She's able to show very complex emotions. And what I mean by that is, so I can be sad, and I can just kind of be here, or I can be like, well, hey, it's good to see you too, Jess. It's kind of like more like there's a range of more. You can be sad, or you can have like a wistful sadness. So like you're trying to be happy, but you're really still sad. And that's a very complex emotion. That, and probably going from happy to sad and then back to happy, or from sad to happy and then back to sad. Those are really hard to do if you're acting, because one really requires you to be able to do two things at once. And to be able to constantly show that tension, and the other requires you to be able to have just like very immaculate timing, and to just be able to communicate and signal, and just really take your time. You don't always get that kind of time. You just don't. But she did a fantastic job. Iko was a pretty cool villain. For those who don't know who Iko is, he was in the Raid. I think he was a good guy in the Raid. I don't actually. I haven't actually seen it myself, but Najir was super hype. Najir, by the way, from the Big Gold Belt, he covers wrestling. He's a huge fan. And then Miss Sorbino also did a very good job. She's been in literally everything, television shows, movies, TV movies, everything, you name it. She's kind of one of those people who's kind of everywhere at once. And she does a very good job. Across the board, I thought that the film had a very good cast. I didn't feel like anyone was being carried. There's an unexpected cameo to watch out for. Particularly if you watch a certain TV show that is set in Philadelphia, you'll recognize the character that pops up kind of randomly in the story. But across the board, I think it's a solid movie. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. For me, I give a movie that's like whatever, kind of like it's not, I didn't hate it, but I just would never watch it, and I give that like a 6. And a movie's a little bit more interesting than that. I give it a 7. So 7.5 is just like, I would watch this again. It's a lot of fun. I might get together with like 3 or 4 of my guy friends, or and then I don't know. I don't have a lot of female friends that just absolutely love and adore action. I have a few, but I'd probably just get together with a small posse of friends that that liked action and wanted to get a good laugh or two, and that's how I'd go see the movie. I think that it's entertaining enough that you can be just enjoyed at face value, and there's just enough subtlety to it, I think, that you can still enjoy it and kind of put your thinking cap on a little bit if you want to, that is. So across the board, I thought it was a pretty solid movie. Once again, from Sam, this is my review of Stuber. Thanks for letting me do this, Big Sam. Take care, you too. Bye.